If you're listening to me right now, I assume that I'm already dead. Well, at least I hope I am, since all the other options I can come up with for why someone who is not me would be hearing this message seem almost worse. My name is Melissa, and this is my report on how this world of ours came to an abrupt end. Man, I really hope, whoever you are, that this stuff has somehow turned around, although I can't fathom how. You can take this lead-lined box you found the thumb drive in with you, by the way. There are a few old documents and pictures I took during the weeks and months I spent out here, in the wilderness, and I hope you can get a feel for what this world was like before the catastrophe started, before they came for us. Our end began on May 27th, in the year 2027. It was an almost normal day in every regard. People were going about their lives, driving around. There were concerts and festivals all over the globe. And even though the stock market was in quite a bit of trouble, and the normal griping about politics had long since turned completely corrosive, we, as a species, were still everywhere. The internet still worked. People were the same as all the years before. But on that day, the 27th of May, the first reports appeared on social media sites. Meteor showers. At least that was what the people called them. There were videos and stories about them. Not a single astronomer or website had predicted them, and people who liked to watch the sky at night suddenly found themselves staring at what would almost immediately be dubbed the agnostics meteor showers. They were visible almost all around the globe, from Melbourne to Anchorage, from Madrid to Seoul. Hundreds of people posted videos of them. Some were grainy and shaky, low-resolution garbage, while others were in full HD. The usual suspects, of course, came out of the woodwork again. Kooks and grifters, weirdos, and even some pseudo-religious figures all claimed them as a sign of their preferred source. Like an omen sent by a god who was angry with the world. Or a monopolar apparition that would make people sick if they didn't buy some kind of magnetized wristband. Stuff like that. So, while the kooks and nutters started spouting their usual grifts, most of the people seemed content with watching the videos, maybe even taking some for themselves. I was among them back then. My own video, which I took with my phone after driving over to the shoulder of the road on my way home from work, was definitely not one of the best, but it was far from the worst either. I got a handful of comments and likes, and for the first time, I saw a name that from then on would haunt me. Yet, maybe save me these next few weeks. CAS 818. That was his name, and the name of his channel. He was the first one to like my video and comment with the link below. I don't know what would have happened to me if I didn't click on the link. Maybe I would have disappeared in a flash of light like so many others. Wiped out without ever feeling the fear and dread that came after. So in a way, I guess I blame him for my survival and thank him for the opportunity to pass my story on. As I said, I clicked on the link and watched his YouTube video, the first and only one on his channel. What greeted me there was a guy, maybe around 40, sweaty and one might say unkempt, but his eyes were so full of energy. I felt drawn in right from the start. I actually downloaded the audio, kept it, and can now play you at least a part of it.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I think we've all seen the meteor showers that seem to be popping up randomly around the globe since yesterday. At least, I know I've seen enough videos and pictures of them to last me for a lifetime. Well, let me be the first to say, please be careful. What you see on these videos is not a meteor shower. Let me repeat that. They are not meteors. Now, why would I say that? Well, for a couple of reasons. First off, there was no advance notice of them appearing. Do you really not think a single astronomer on the planet had any idea such a massive group of objects was approaching us? But there was nothing. Zero. Nada. Zilch. No, every single space agency, every planetarium, they all missed them, and were shocked as the rest of us when they started lighting up the sky at night. How likely do you think that is? Secondly, the name they got. Normally, meteor showers typically get their names from the constellations from which they appeared to originate. The official designation of the things we're seeing now is the agnostids. It means we don't know where they're coming from, which is absolutely fitting if you ask me. Thirdly, the media has been strangely quiet about the appearance of the meteors. There were some small segments in the news at first, but now there seems to be an almost complete information blackout. I don't think that's a coincidence either. Fourthly, please watch some of the videos more carefully. The way those meteors are coming down is strange. They aren't burning up as one would expect, and some even seem to slow down or correct course on their own. I think there's something going on here, and I don't like the way it plays out. So keep your heads up and subscribe for more videos. See you soon.
I wasn't immediately on board with his claims, to be honest. Yeah, the guy in the video didn't seem like he was completely out of his mind, and his points were reasonable. But something about it all bothered me. Maybe it was just the fact that I didn't want to believe it back then. He sounded like the world might be in trouble. And thinking back now, I guess he was the first one I saw who looked at it really clear-headed. I did subscribe to his channel, though. More out of morbid curiosity than anything else, to be honest. But I'm sure I would have ended up dead like so many others if I hadn't. The next 2 days, I remember watching more of the meteor shower videos, and I actually got quite nervous by them. What that strange man had told me was true. I could see some of the meteors slowing down without burning up, and others changing course. More and more people seemed to realize at that point that something strange was going on, and more YouTube channels started talking about it, even after a few got demonetized for it. I stayed loyal to that strange CAS 818 channel, though, and 3 days after the first video, his second one appeared.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again. There's a new development I come across that not many people seem to have picked up on. The first one came out of Argentina. A local hobby astronomer filmed what he saw through the lens of his telescope, and I've been trying to verify the contents of his short video. For now I couldn't debunk it myself, and as of half an hour ago, 4 more videos popped up, all showing the same thing. But all of them getting deleted only minutes after they appeared. As you can see, the guy from Argentina was simply filming the night sky when something started to move up there. It's hard to see, so I've circled it in the video. The thing looks almost translucent. No, transparent to the naked eye. If you slow down the video, you can see a tiny bit of light getting reflected off it, while the object starts to speed up, then hovers in place again. It almost appears like something made of glass. Watch out for more videos like that. They seem to be getting taken down almost as quickly as they appear. I think there's a good chance those meteors were just the beginning, guys and girls. Something big is coming. No, it's already here, hiding up there, making itself almost invisible. So keep your heads up and join me for another video once I've gathered my thoughts a bit more. See you soon.
That second one really stayed with me for quite some time. I watched a video snippet where he showed the telescope footage again and again, and even though at first I couldn't see it, slowly but steadily I caught glimpses of what he had pointed out. Back then, I was thinking about getting a telescope as well, just out of curiosity. But I never got around to that. 3 days after that video, for the first time, someone took a photo of what was called a mirage, not even 500 feet above ground. The problem was, it was taken just outside of a military installation. People started panicking, but almost every post got immediately removed from any platform. There were more pictures and even videos popping up all the time from almost every country in the world, showing those exact same phenomena happening everywhere. Governments tried to quell the upcoming panic with heavy censorship, but it just didn't work. Protests were breaking out around me, and I joined in. On June 4th, a Friday, I was part of a group of people meeting outside the city, on a hill overlooking the next military base. And that was when I saw it for the first time with my own eyes. It almost looked like the air was flickering above the barracks. But the longer I watched it, the more I could see its outline. Whatever was up there, it was gigantic, hovering in the air above the installation without making any noise at all. I still remember standing there and suddenly feeling this chill run up and down my spine as I realized that the birds and insects around had fallen completely silent. The space above the military base started to flicker more urgently, and I know I felt my stomach lurch, then turn into a single hot ball. This droning filled the air where birds should have been chirping and insects buzzing. I don't know how I survived, but I know that only a handful did so beside me. No one from the first row made it through, so I'm pretty sure one could say that other people gave their lives, willing or not, so I could run away from there. It wasn't like a normal bomb went off, by the way. That strange ship hovered there, still cloaked, still almost invisible, and suddenly, just as the siren on the base started to blare, the drone turned into a rumble. A flash of light filled the whole area, and a deep, drawn-out explosion followed. I could see the shockwave coming in the glare, ducked down, then heard the whoosh as around me people were taken off their feet. No one screamed. That's something I distinctly remember. I don't know if no one had the time to cry out, or if that explosion did something to us. But there wasn't a single shocked gasp or solemn scream of pain or fear. The people just dropped. Partly charred bodies fell to the ground around me, and as I jumped up to evade the almost headless man who had stood directly in front of me, I looked at the military base. A better description might be the empty stretch of land where it had been just moments before. It wasn't like there was a crater or anything, no. There used to be photos of the victims of the atom bomb, the shadow people. It was a phenomenon where it looked like the shadows of the victims had been burned into the streets and walls close to the bomb's detonation. Only this time, there hadn't been a bomb. Just a flash of light, and after it, all I could see were the burned-in outlines of the buildings on the ground. I remember the fear I felt as I stumbled and ran, followed by others who had survived. Someone next to me started screaming. I turned around and saw a woman whose whole left arm was missing, the stump charred and smoking. I don't think the woman survived. I'm pretty sure she didn't. But there was no time to worry about others back then. All we could do was run away and hope there wouldn't be a second blast. I jumped into my car, and as I started the engine, I saw the air above the base, still flickering, but now spots appeared. No longer translucent, the thing hovering there finally lost its cloaking ability, at least partially, and I saw something giant, as big as the base, slowly shifting around, then rising up higher and higher into the sky. I didn't stay and watch. Instead, as all the others still capable of doing so did, I raced away from there, dinging up my car pretty bad in the headless rush to get out of the area. The internet was awash with videos from all around the globe, and this time, hardly anything got taken down anymore. Somehow, I managed to get back home, hid in the basement of my house, still shaking, trembling and crying, and tried to make sense of what exactly had happened there. CES 818 posted a new video only 2 hours after the first attack.
Hey guys, if you watch this video, it's good to see you're still alive. I hope none of you are out there, but chances are, at least a few people here might have seen what happened today in person. My heart breaks for you. To anybody who hasn't followed the news and is living under a rock, there's been an attack today. A coordinated one. Not on the country, but the world itself. At least 2,000 bases were attacked simultaneously all across the globe. That's just the number of videos that were posted from different locations, by the way. I assume every single above-ground military installation got wiped out at the same time by the same perpetrators. You know what that means, don't you? Someone or something out there has declared war on us, and I fear the fight might already be over. There were reports of countries firing at the cloaked ships, but I don't think that's the reason why they did this. It looks and feels planned. They fanned out, targeting every military base, every rocket silo, every ocean terminal, and even air defenses simultaneously, and eradicated them all in a flash. What happens next, I can't say for sure. There are quite a few subterranean stockpiles and bases still around, I hope. The question is if they get targeted next, or if whoever attacked us thinks it's already enough. There'd been no official statement by any government about negotiations, so I don't think we'll know anything for sure anytime soon. What bothers me most, though, is those meteors that came down. Their sighting stopped just before the attacks began. I don't think the meteors were those ships that hovered above the military installation. They are far too big and far too technologically advanced just to get dropped into the atmosphere, and I'm still looking for a single report of an impact crater. If you have seen one of the meteors strike the Earth, please contact me at the email address down below. Maybe that is part of their plan as well. I guess we'll see soon enough. So please, guys and girls, if you're listening, stay away from the spots that have already been attacked, and try to keep the panic to a minimum. We don't know what's going to happen, but I have a bad feeling about it all. Stay safe, and I hope I'll see you soon.
I spent the next day in shock, only daring to leave my basement in emergencies. There was no point in going to work. No way I would leave the house again. I stayed huddled up and started combing through all the new videos posted to social media. There were protests, people visiting the spots where the bases got wiped out. And, as was expected, grifters and charlatans en masse. Some were still trying to make money off the tragedy. Others just wanted to feel special, I guess. At least 100 people claimed they were the alien's single representative, while a bunch stated that they could communicate with them telepathically. I watched an old, unwashed woman's video about the invaders only wanting peace, and her claims that them taking out our military was just to protect us in the end. Watching that made me sick, as I remembered the person with the blown-off arms screaming and running past me. CES 818 didn't post another video for that day or the next. I think he wanted to wait until something else happened, and I kinda appreciated him for that. So, as I dug deeper and deeper and started watching more and more videos, I finally stumbled upon something buried in the avalanche of opinions that flooded social media. It was a short video from a tiny, almost invisible account from, I think, Finland? Someone living outside a big city had actually gone through the work of looking all around the area and found something. One of the so-called meteors had struck down in one of the forests, an hour's distance away from a tiny village, and only took out a single tree at its landing spot. The video wasn't very long or detailed. It just showed the guy, covered from head to toe in layer upon layer of clothing, pointing his camera at what at first glance looked like a giant obsidian rock that stuck out of the ground. I saved the video and sent it to CAS 818 and got a response almost immediately. The guy was ecstatic, asking me all those questions I couldn't answer. Of course, I didn't claim the video as my own and gave him the username that had posted it, but the account had already disappeared when I checked again, not even 15 minutes after I first discovered it. 3 hours later, CAS 818 posted his next video.
Hey guys and girls, I got sent a video by a viewer and I think it's real. Someone found one of the impact sites of the meteors and has filmed it. As you can see, the object isn't that big, but it's clear that there's something wrong with it. Judging from the absence of a crater though, I think we can safely assume that it didn't strike the ground at the kind of speed that would be expected. If this is true for all those meteors, I think there's something big coming. The ships destroyed the military bases first, and it's highly likely that they've already begun attacking our subterranean installations as well. But at almost the same time, they sent down those meteors. Why? Well, judging by the locations far outside of cities, I think they are meant for the next phase of the attack. There are people out there who are gathering all the data they can get about possible landing zones of those meteors, and the maps they draw show almost perfect circles around areas with high population density. If you're currently in one of those big cities, get out. Something big is coming.
I stared at the screen, looked at the map he had shown in his video, and for the first time that day, I felt like leaving my basement behind. There was a circle around the city my suburbs were in. I packed everything I could gather into my car, drove to the next supermarket and stocked up, then left the area behind. Chaos was already taking over at that point, but luckily, hardly anyone else was trying to leave the city. I watched the police trying to keep order, but failing miserably. People looting places, brawls on the side of the road. It's kind of hard to describe it all. We used to be a society of laws, one of order. But what I witnessed that last time I was among people really made me doubt everything. I kept driving out into the woods until I was sure I left the circle, and then continued on. That first night I slept in my car, then kept busy during the day using a solar charger to keep my laptop alive and satellite internet for the connection. There were reports of sightings of those cloaked ships again on social media. But this time, they appeared above the biggest cities. By then, I knew I had made the right choice. Someone posted a video of a few missiles striking one of the ships, but it shook the hits off as if they were nothing. All that did was make it visible for a few seconds before it vanished again. The thing didn't even retaliate. We're no match for them. That was the title of the social media post, and I think more and more of us realized just how helpless it truly was. Someone tried to start a big campaign, riling up the people to force the leaders to try and negotiate with the aliens, but again, there was no response from any politician. I don't know if they were all dead at that point or just knew that it was pointless. Speculation ran wild online. Some claimed we had already surrendered and that the aliens were now cleaning up. But I don't know if I believe that. Personally, I think there never was any contact made. Judging by the way they came at us, I assume they weren't interested in our opinion in the first place. You wouldn't negotiate with ants in your kitchen either, would you? CAS 818 uploaded another video, and this time, he looked about as deathly pale as I did.
Someone sent me another video, And even though I hope it's fake, I feel like this might be it. Those dark, obsidian-like meteors have started moving. Someone filmed it, and it looks like they're cracking open. At least they're not bombs, right? Well, whatever emerges doesn't bode well for us. If you're still in one of those circles, get out now. This isn't a war. I think it's an extermination. Run and hide. Stay alive, and I hope and pray I will see you again soon.
Around 3 hours after the video got posted, the earth shook. Those tremors could be felt even where I was. And at that point, there wasn't a big city in a 50-mile radius around me. I can guess what happened, since suddenly 2/3 of all social media users went offline. Their accounts were still there, but they would never post again. I found a single snapshot by someone a day later, showing a giant flat surface where once a city had been. You could make out the streets and the outlines of the buildings burned into the ground, but not a single house still stood, not a single person still moved. I don't know what kind of weapon they used, but it seemed to be awfully effective. But the true horror only began after that. Videos were posted online from a few different sources, now screaming into the almost empty void of social media. They weren't that hard to find by then, since the only other kind of post you'd see was people mourning and asking around if anyone had seen their loved ones. Those videos showed strange creatures walking along the now empty roads. They weren't Earthborn. That much was clear even then. It's hard to describe. The unease I felt the first time I saw them on video, and the terror they brought me when I encountered them for the first time in real life. They had shimmering white bodies covered in carapace, 8 sturdy legs, and were about as long as a car. Someone posted a video of one of them coming out of the obsidian meteor. I think they were the cleanup crew. Some kind of xenobiological warfare. Since after the cities had burned, the cloaked ships disappeared, and we, down here on Earth, were left alone with those monsters. CAS 818 made one last video the following day. A short one, so I can add it in its entirety.
Hello to anyone who's still alive out there. I don't think many are going to see this, and I don't know how much time I still have left. The cities are gone, the military is gone, our governments are gone as well. Fires are breaking out everywhere, and what's left of our infrastructure is crumbling quickly. They left our satellites alone for now, probably for fear of cutting the planet off completely, and there's still no working theory of why they attacked us, but I don't think that's important anymore. The internet will be gone soon, so this might be my last message to anyone still alive. If you managed to flee before those things hatched, congratulations. If not, I wish you all the luck in the world. You will need it. Those white creatures start closing in towards the center of the circles, and I think they're meant to eradicate anyone who survived the blasts. Afterward, they might spread out and look for the rest. It's best to assume the worst right now, so wherever you are, keep on your toes. I have one last plea for anyone who's listening. Keep recording. Put together videos and pictures, news articles, and whatever else you can find of the time before they came. Put it somewhere safe. Maybe bury it. If anyone survives out there, if there ever comes a time when humanity reemerges, they might find it. We need to leave something behind so they can know what we once had. In the meantime, I wish you all good luck. I still hope someone can save us, even though the chances of that are quite slim by now. So keep your heads up and stay careful. I hope to see you all. Maybe it'll be in this life or the next.
His prediction came true. Not even 3 days later, the internet cut out, and no matter what I do, I can't get any connection back. I found a small hut far away from any city, in the middle of an old forest. It has no bed or toilet, but for now I can make do. There are shooting stars at night above me, but they are burning up as quickly as they appear. I don't think they're more aliens, but they might be satellites that started to crash and break apart. About those white things walking around, I don't know what they are, and I don't plan on finding out. 2 days ago, as I drove past a wildfire, I saw one of them emerging from the flames, walking as slowly and deliberately as if nothing were wrong at all. That was until it noticed me. The thing sped up and chased my car for a good mile, reaching speeds of about 35 miles per hour, and only stopped once I found a bigger road and managed to lose it. I don't know what they do with the ones they catch, but when that one chased me, I got a closer look. There are black dots around the carapace that seem to move and follow its target. It has no head or mouth as far as I could see, but it could just be that those parts are hidden until it starts to feed. I don't know, and I don't want to know. The small hut I'm in is safe for now, I think. I don't know if anyone will ever find this recording, or if they'll even be able to play it if a human should get their hands on it. I will bury my laptop with it in this lead-lined box out here in the woods, and I'll even add my charger. Hope it helps. Yeah, there's not much else I can do. I still have gas in my tank and food and water for now, so I shouldn't starve. But I get the feeling that those white things will come for me sooner or later. One of these days for sure. Shit. I hope someone sees this after they have found a way to kill those white creatures and have started rebuilding what we once had. Since there's nothing much for me to do out here besides mulling it over, let me give you my theory on why they attacked us. I think we drew them in with all the signals we blasted out into space. One of the countless radio waves, or whatever, must have made them aware of us, and they came to shut us up. Maybe they were worried about what we could turn into if they didn't take care of us now, but that seems kind of far-fetched to me. I still think they just wanted to exterminate what they viewed as vermin. As far as I know, none of their ships ever touched down here, so they probably don't want our planet or resources. It's a chilling thought. All it took was one wrong radio signal at the wrong time. And this is what we get. So I will leave you with this. I hope the future is bright. I hope we can come back again. Keep your heads up. Take what I left behind. And never forget what we once were.